All right. Don't mind these are part of my spooky decorations. But I wanted to do a quick video, probably because it's faster than me looking for it, because I feel like I've done this before. But this is the Friendly adaptive shoe. So, similar to accessibility of the Billies, but the zipper is on the back. Something that I'd like you to be mindful of is it does not zip all the way back around. So this might just be specifically the model or the one that I bought because, you know, Kaylin wanted leopard. I tried a number of ways to get this to fit over her shoe. So again, same on the other side. It zips from the back. It doesn't completely open up, which is what I wanted to try out. So I made the mistake of ordering knowing that I would need the zipper all the way around the back for this to work for Kaylin's, but I still tried them. You can remove the sole. So this is, I mean, this is not quite as comfy as memory foam, but if your kiddo just has a hard time getting their foot in because, you know, shoes, this might work for you, and depending on the AFO, it might.
Yeah.
But what I want to show you is that if you have AFOs similar to my child, so this is the wedge that I was talking about. Let me clean up some of the straps here. This is part of the problem that we have, even with Billies, because of that zipper. There's not a lot of give. And so I not only need a wide shoe, but I also need something that has enough depth for this to fit in. So I'm going to show you from this angle. That is the problem, one of the problems with my daughter's AFO, which makes it a little tricky. Hers still does fit in a Billies. So we still do have a couple of our Billies, but I have found greater success with Converse and Vans because you can get them in wide, and then of course you can get them deep enough and just kind of lace up, but everything is muscling this shoe on, even with a freaking shoehorn. But a little bit more information just about Friendlies. This is a size 1 in US. So if you've got a kiddo, don't want to assume only girls like leopard, but they are pink, there is sparkle, and leopard. So I missed my return window. Hit me up if you need a size 1, but I do want to show you it's not going to work with all shoes or all AFOs. But here we go. Let's see if I can angle this down just a little bit better. Well, I'll hold her foot up. I'll show you just to give you a little bit better visual here of this shoe. Now, our orthotist is in Arizona, so I think I've noticed some familiar names in the group that are wondering very specifically about this. So I know some of my Arizona friends might be getting their orthotics made by the same husband and wife duo. So, orthotic specialist Barb and Brett. I probably won't say their last name right, but Boutin. They're Canadian. So they've got a French name, French Canadian. But here we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna skip the Pringle just for purposes of this, but of course my daughter has a Pringle on hers. She tends to try to flex right out of these. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
But you'll get an idea for just how, I mean, I've definitely seen bulkier AFOs, but these, my friends, they're solving a bigger problem than apparently is to find footwear. But we have gone through a lot of shoe shopping. She's a teenager, you know, she's got some preferences. She's sick of wearing, you know, big bulky shoes that make it that much harder for her to use her gait trainer. Weight wise, I do feel like they feel lighter than the Billies. But again, once your AFO is in them, I don't really know if it's a significant difference. So if your kiddo's having a hard time walking in Billies, I don't know if you can find really a much lighter shoe. Other complaints that I've had about Billies is, I mean, the quality of craftsmanship. There's been a noticeable difference over the years, but we've been wearing Billies for, I don't know, it feels like a lifetime, with really very minimal options as far as other shoes. But even with this completely open, this is really helpful. I was really hopeful for this. So maybe if the Friendlies can make the zipper wrap all the way around, because what's nice about that is the toe of the shoe. This is always a really common place for wear and tear. And this is, whether you're wearing AFOs or not, any kiddo that is dragging a foot or catching that toe, this is a really common place. And this is a common place for my son, who's a typical walker. He also wears this part out on his shoes. Don't ask me what my husband does to reinforce some of them, because everything is expensive right now. I'm gonna have to work on how much we eat, because man, the food prices, everything is just expensive. But if you can see, we had no chance of fitting in these. So if you have AFOs that aren't as wedged, so that depth of them makes it really, really tough to fit in a normal toe box of the shoe. But that's it. That's the Friendlies, guys. That zipper. Double check to see if maybe other models do zip all the way around. I ordered these because I assumed it did. Maybe I didn't click on enough videos. Maybe I just picked this one because I got excited. But I will say, width-wise, I'll show you just side by side. Width-wise, this will probably work for a wider AFO as long as you don't have this much of a wedge on it. So size 1. If anyone needs these, hit me up, where I can do estimated shipping from Colorado. But if you cover the cost of shipping, I'll put them in the mail, I guess. I mean, they didn't work for us, and you know, bummer. Would have been fun to have a fun pair of pink shoes. But honestly, I think I bought these last year. And so this year we just have pretty basic. We have Converse, Vans, and Saucony, if I'm saying that correctly. And Shadow 6000 works for bulkier AFOs. And right now I'm actually loving the Saucony for walking specifically. Whereas, you know, we've got some boots that we got at H&M that zip all the way down. But I might do just a shorter video for all the shoes that we have found over the years that do work, to give folks options. But I will say, if it's just for aesthetics, and especially if you have kiddos that have a preference on brands, Converse to date is probably the easiest, the high tops or even the low ones, to get over her bulkier wedged AFOs. So one more time, these are the bad boys that we're working with. And I'll kind of show you width-wise. When this is unzipped, it opens up pretty wide. So I feel like having the zipper in the back, I give that a thumbs up. But these unfortunately didn't work for us, because she has a little bit bulkier of an AFO, and that wedge makes it pretty hard to get into most shoes. I've got muscles on one side because of her orthotics and just shoving braces into shoes. But hope that helps.